can't just say, I know these triangles are congruent. Now, what do we mean by them being congruent? On your quiz today, congruent triangles, all the angles are the same and all the sides are the same. But you only have to prove 3 things. And even with hypotenuse leg, there's actually 3 things. It's the one angle side that works. Now, you've got some in your classwork that have a right angle, but you're going to treat it as an A because right angles are congruent. So you will count that as like, if there's a right angle between these 2 sides, you'll call it side angle side. You will not use this one. So where do we go with this? The thing you need to recognize is, and this is the one we need to talk about first, is I see that this, now recognize this, and this is where some people struggle, is they want to look at the big picture, but you really just want to look at one of the triangles. Oops, here we go. You want to look at one of the triangles compared to the other, and I'll say, well, look, they both have an angle, and you can write an A right there if you want to. They have an angle the same. They both have another angle the same. But that's it. And 2 angles is not enough to prove triangles congruent. Two triangles can have the same angles, 2 angles in them, but they don't have to be exactly the same. But there's something that happens here. And do you notice this little segment right here? Okay. If they, and I'm calling them the triangles, the they is the triangles, if they share a side, comma, the sides are congruent, I'm just going to use the symbol, by the reflexive property of equality. There's a couple of properties. One of them is, and we've used this one some, symmetric property, 7 equals, well, it's easier to say, if A equals B, B equals A. That's the symmetric property. It goes both ways. This one says that A equals A. So I'm going to mark that. Now that's the thing. You're going to have to mark your picture on your classwork. Now look at one of the triangles and tell me which one of these it is. It's 2 angles in a side, and the only ones that have 2 angles in the side are these 2. But is the side between them, or is the side another one of the other sides? What do you see? It's angle, side, angle. Look at one triangle, and so this is angle, side, angle. The top of page 43. Okay. Now, what's the other thing we have to look for? Do you all see that we have a side? See, this goes back to that lesson where we had to be able to read the pictures. And then this is a side. But what do you see that these triangles might have in common or something they share? Do you see it? Do you see they have vertical angles? Would you have recognized that? So vertical. Now, what I'm writing over here is just something, and really for your classwork, these are the only 2 things. They're either going to share a side, or they're going to be vertical angles, or all the 3 things are going to be given. You have some that they're all given, and you just say what it is. So if I take one of the triangles, what do I have? I have 2 sides, but what's that angle? It's between them. So this is side, angle, side. See how it's 2 sides with the angle between them. Okay, in one of the triangles, you've got side here, you've got side here, side here. What do they share? What do they have? You see that other side? So we'll mark it with 1 because they've got 1, 2, 3 already. So what is that? Side, side, side. You mark the picture and you label it. These share, you see they have an angle, they have a side. Do you see the vertical angles? We'll mark those with 2 since this one is. Now be careful, it's 2 angles in a side, but is the side between them? See, it's 2 angles and a side that's not between them, so it's angle, angle, side. Now, whatever order those are in, we still call it angle, angle, side. Even if it's like this, side, angle, angle, we still call it angle, angle, side.